I rise today on behalf of the many who have concluded that enough is enough.
Houston Congressman Al Green on the floor of the House yesterday, unveiling articles of impeachment against Donald Trump. Green says Trump is fueling an alt-right hate machine. Green cited Trump's record of racism and sexism in his verbal attacks on NFL players and their mothers. He also says Trump is associating his office with bigotry by refusing to denounce hate groups. And the congressman also cites Trump's false claims that millions of people voted illegally in the 2016 presidential election.
Donald John Trump, unmindful of the high duties of his high office and the dignity and proprieties thereof, and of the harmony and respect and courtesies which ought to exist and be maintained within American society, has undermined the integrity of his office, has brought disrepute on the presidency, has betrayed his trust as president to the manifest injury of the people of the United States of America, and as a result is unfit to be president. Therefore, Donald John Trump, by betraying his trust as president, warrants impeachment, trial, and removal from office, and disqualification to hold any office of honor, trust, or profit under the United States of America.
All over time. Green introduced the articles with the expectation of giving House members at least 2 days to consider them. But the GOP moved to consider the resolution less than an hour after Green left the floor, effectively killing a vote on the impeachment articles for now. In the past, senior Democrats have said it's premature to consider impeachment. As for Congressman Green, he says he plans to reintroduce the bill sometime in the future. All right. Y'all thoughts about this? Is it too early?
This is silly and idiotic, and this is the exact reason people don't take us politically significant. While Chuck and Nancy are at the White House working on a deal on DACA to protect the Dreamers, we're on the floor introducing bills that we can't pass. Al Green doesn't have the votes to pass a peach pie, let alone impeachment. There's no way it'll get to the House Judiciary Committee. There's nowhere there'll be a House vote. There's not a 2/3 majority in the Senate for removal. John Roberts is going to preside over the case as the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court. So what exactly is he hoping to do with this? When you have African Americans around the country standing up for criminal justice reform, you're talking about I kneel with Kaepernick, I'm boycotting, I'm taking a knee. Introduce a bill that will address those issues.
They have. Robert, they have. Hold on, Robert. I could take exactly what you just said. I could literally take your exact arguments and take that everything you said and apply it to criminal justice reform and repeat it right back to you. Now, I'm not done. African Americans have introduced bills to deal with criminal justice reform. You said that there will not be a Judiciary Committee hearing on this. Bob Goodlatte, who is the chair of that particular committee, will not hold a single hearing on the very bills black members of Congress have introduced on the issue. Second, you said the House will not vote on this. The House Republican caucus will not allow the bill to even be considered unless they have at least 218 votes in their House caucus. You keep making the argument that the black caucus members should do something on criminal justice reform. They have done exactly what you have said, and the Republicans have thwarted them at every turn. Now what do you propose they should do?
Well, you do exactly what Chuck and Nancy are doing. You go to the White House with the first piece of legislation. Hold on. One of the first things that Donald Trump did was sign a Blue Lives Matter bill when he got into office to sign an executive order on that. So Chuck and Nancy can negotiate on DACA, can negotiate on Dreamers, can negotiate on wall funding. Why can't we be there to negotiate on behalf of people in our community?
What happened when the Congressional Black Caucus presented Donald Trump a 130-page document about what black folks have to lose and included criminal justice reform? What did he do with it?
Well, what was our negotiating chip on that? What were we willing to negotiate on that?
Robert, if you don't even read the document, you ain't gonna be negotiating. And show me where, please, take your time. I can give you my iPad for Shelley to pull up. Show me where Donald Trump has made a definitive statement speaking about the issue of criminal justice reform that victims might appreciate. All we've heard has been law and order, I love cops.
Well, if you're going to say that, then you have to realize what exactly Democrats are negotiating on right now. The first thing he did was attack immigrants when he got into office.
Yes!
So why are Chuck and Nancy negotiating with right now?
Did you not just see 48 hours ago when he pulled back, when he's going to cancel the deal? All right, hold on.
Because it's part of the negotiation process.
No, it's not.
What Trump does is negotiate to the mean.
He doesn't negotiate.
He takes the extreme position, then you negotiate back to where you started
let's see if he negotiates this. Last night, he was on Sean Hannity, which was nothing but beach ball television. Okay, no real discussions there. And so here is Sean, who really cares about black people, love discussing Chicago, ain't never taken his show to Chicago. Listen to these two buffoons on this issue. Shelley, go to my iPad.
When you look at the Obama years, Chicago, one city, his adopted hometown, 3,900 people were murdered. In the last 6 years of Obama's presidency, 18,000 shootings. I don't think he mentioned it but 3 or 4 times.
Yeah, it's hard to believe.
And disproportionately, his economic policies hurt black Americans, Hispanic Americans more.
That's very sad.
How will your policies help minorities that are still struggling?
Well, first of all, minorities want police protection more than anybody. They need it more than anybody. It's what's going on is crazy. And you look at some of these inner cities where it's just out of control. And remember, I was saying things like, we will, what do you have to lose? We will fix it. We're going to fix it. But one of the things we're doing very strongly now is the inner cities. Now, Chicago is out of control. I don't know what they're doing in Chicago to have this many shootings and this many killings and all of the different things that are going on.
Really? I don't know what they're doing. How about you be the president and go? Where's your plan?
Here's the thing.
I love to hear it.
Right, but you're not. The silence is deafening. What do we have to lose? The better question is, what do we have to gain under Donald Trump? But in the first 9 months of his presidency, we've heard nothing about his urban agenda. We've heard nothing about the resources he's sending, jobs, job training, education, money, resosources, you name it.
So there's nothing to negotiate.
There's nothing to negotiate because it's not a priority. He's too busy creating these culture wars, but while you've got the killing fields of Chicago going on, if Obama failed Chicago, then he's certainly doing no better than that because he hasn't put any attention to it either.
Shannon, that particular clip from Axios, they clipped it, didn't have it. Leah Ruggiero sent me another clip where he went, "This is not the United States of America." Actually, dude, it is. It is. I mean, at the end of the day, this is very simple. Trump has absolutely no plan of action that involves black people. Have you seen it?
You haven't said anything I disagreed with, actually.
No, I'm just asking, have you seen it? Because I know I haven't seen it.
Well, I have seen things.
Or poor people, for that matter.
I have seen things that would lead one on paper to believe there is a plan. But I, quite honestly, haven't seen that much of a plan for black folk from too many electeds across the board. We are not a priority. Our dollars don't control what happens in other folks' pockets. We don't use the dollars that we do spend in a way to effectively get folks to understand we're serious about the things that we say. So no, we're not a priority. We don't do things in a manner that would say to folks, we intend for you to look at us as a priority. We don't.
Bottom line is this here. What you have with Green reading the impeachment articles on the floor. Look, you've had Republicans voted 50 plus times on the Affordable Care Act, knowing full well the Senate was not going to move on it and Obama wasn't going to sign it. Robert, they still did it.
And they look silly now after 7 years of doing it to not actually have a plan to effectuate it. So when we talk about Trump and what he can do to help Chicago, and that's always the conservative talking point.
Chicago.
Yeah, Chicago.
And none of them even will go to Chicago.
I lived in Chicago for 3 years, 47 the Drexel, love the city.
6 years.
Wonderful place. People make it sound like it's just this place of just death, detritus, and destruction. But what we can do is stop the Mexican drug gangs from bringing in drugs. There are no cocaine fields in Chicago. There's no poppy fields in Chicago. We have to control those issues.
Well, actually, on the guns. Guns that they get them all from Indiana, which actually we'll talk about on Monday's show.
Weekdays on TV One.
I will never lie to you.
Oh my God.
Roland Martin.
He doesn't want to talk to us. He wants to ignore us.
Uncensored.
Hell no. That ain't gonna cut it, boo.
Unapologetic.
No, that is fundamentally false. You are wrong.
Unfiltered.
He wants an America where we all look alike. He ain't talking about black people.
Unrelenting.
You better go work out, because you got a fight on your hands.
NewsOne Now with Roland Martin. Weekdays at 7 a.m. on TV One.